feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake?
G'day folks, it's Cortezerino, and I have been very busy with villager trading halls, but before we get on to any of that, it has occurred to me that I have done a lot of building here in my mountain village, but some of these buildings you have never ever seen the inside of. Like, you've seen them while I was recording the time-lapse, but you'd have no idea really, unless you got the world download, what it would look like. So I thought we would come along and just check out a couple of the places really quickly. But there's one thing I wanted to change here first. I brought the materials with me, at least what I think I need. When I was doing the time-lapse, I changed where this... Oh no, I've got the wrong materials. They're jungle leaves. I brought oak leaves. I was going to just extend this a bit. I did the time-lapse. I built this little hedgerow all the way across, and I think it looked kind of better then, so I just want to fix it. But let's check the ender chest. Do I have any jungle leaves? Probably not. Yep, totally didn't have to go back to base then and grab all this stuff. But let's see. Oh, am I even going to have... I think I'll have room to put this in. I just want to try it out with the hedges just extending a little bit. And I'll probably have to put a trapdoor on the end as well. Do I want to use dark oak or do I want to use jungle? Let's have a look. Okay, I had a bit of a fly around and there is totally not a good place to view this from, but I think I actually like the jungle trapdoor on the end, but let's fix that up. We will have a little sleep so I don't end up with creepers all through my mountain village, and then we will go inside and have a look in the ski lodge. And we might go in the front door actually, because the top floor of the ski lodge is actually my favourite room in the entire mountain village. I think it looks super cool. But yeah, I love this building, guys. We've done a bit of a different shape here. I did base this off an actual Austrian building, although it probably wasn't a ski lodge. But the idea is, down the bottom here, we've got a little reception area. And then we've just got a great big restaurant here where people can sit down and have a nice meal. Nice fireplace. And then back here is the kitchen, so we can prepare all our food for our guests. But upstairs is the bar. And I think I've pretty much done this bar perfectly. It looks awesome. So we've got an awesome looking bar back there. We've got our little brewing stands. And yeah, I think it looks super cool. And I've worked in bars before, so I know they always have these little side rooms where you can come in here. So I've got a bit of area for washing up, for storing a few things. And then you can walk behind the bar and serve all your guests. And I actually looked at some pictures of an actual Austrian ski lodge, and they had these barrels for tables with chairs all around them. So I've copied that, and putting the lanterns on top of the barrels made it easy for me to get some light into here. But yeah, I just love the look of this place. I can imagine sitting down at one of these barrels, having a beer with the bar over there, and it's nice high ceilings. We've got a little top deck up the top, which you can get. This is backstage. The customers wouldn't come in here. Just more storage, and then you can come up the top to a little attic-y thing. And yeah, I only put this here because I had that little balcony, and I had to have some internal access to it. And the other cool thing is, when you're up here in the bar, you can also go to the outside and sit down in a little raised beer garden up here. I absolutely love this building. That was the worst takeoff ever. Let's try that again. And the other place that I haven't really shown is my tower. I've shown you the bottom half of it, and then we did the rest of the building in a time lapse, but we haven't gone and had a look inside. Oh no, I've left the door open. I hope no nasties have wandered in here. No, it looks good. I'll run up until I think we're at the spot where I've shown you, and we will continue the tour. Man, I really hate these twirly-whirly walkways. Aha, here we go. Okay, so this big room with the bunk beds must have been the last room I showed you. And here we go. So I just had a bare platform up here now, but these are the jail cells. So we've got a little place here for the guard to have a sit down and probably have a snooze. And this is the spot for all the prisoners. Now, I intentionally did not try to light up the cells. I mean, they're probably lit up. We've got lanterns lying around. But I didn't go out of my way to make sure they had a high light level, because I thought it'd be funny just to come in here one day and have a beastie all locked up. But that's it here. That's pretty basic. And I think the next floor as well is much the same thing, just more jail cells. This one has a little iron door so we can get in. And you can just see a few beds lying on the floor. A few cauldrons to go to the bathroom in. But yeah, we will continue up, and gosh, it does get hard to think up what you're going to do on these interiors. I'm getting so sick of trying to think up new medieval furniture. But this is a pretty nice room. I've done a little bit of architecture work here because I realised I was just concentrating too much on the furniture and I wasn't making the walls look super good. So yeah, we've got these nice little alcoves in the wall. The cool ceiling, a little table and chairs probably for all the guards to play cards when they are supposed to be watching the prisoners. And I'm kind of forgetting what's at the next level. I think the next one's the last one, is it? Yep, the staircase finishes. So this is the top deck. We've just got a little fireplace here because the tower has a chimney, and I realised I hadn't put a fireplace in, so we put it in here. And this is more of a lookout sort of room, so not much in here, but you can come on the outside, and I hope this is spawn-proofed, and look out at all the lovely scenery. And it's annoying to walk through here, but there's not a lot of room. But yeah, guys, that is the castle, and we are going to be doing... I can't even find my doorway anymore. We're going to be doing more work on this castle today, but not just yet. Like I think I showed it in another episode, probably the last Let's Play. I showed you in my creative world what I was designing, and we're going to continue that out here. I haven't designed all of it yet, only the bottom floor, but we're definitely going to get that done. But before we do, let's go for a wander and look at what I've been doing with my villager trading. Now, you've probably seen my new villager trading hall design. I put out a tutorial for it. But before I do the tutorials, I always like to test them in survival because all sorts of unexpected things tend to happen. So I figured I would build it right here down this trapdoor. And if you've been watching my entire series, you might remember this place. This was my first experiment with the villager trading hall down here, and then I ended up building it out at the oil rig. But I decided to build this here because I already had the space and there were already villagers in here, so I didn't have to go to a lot of work. Look at them all look down at their workstations. It was like they were bowing when I walked in. So this is just the one I did a tutorial for. But it is a little bit different. Like, I've got drop chutes down the back here to drop the villagers onto magma blocks. Didn't bother with that in the tutorial in the end. And the other thing I've done is you can see this room with the beds up the back. That is massive because I was stacking so many beds in there trying to get these guys to breed. I had that entire huge room filled up with beds all stacked on top of each other. And these guys were getting the broken hearts. They weren't breeding, and I couldn't figure out why, but it turns out if you have the beds stacked up like that, they just think that they can't access the bed. I didn't know that, so they'd only see 1 or 2 beds up the front, and they're like, no, there aren't enough beds. But as soon as I got rid of a bunch of beds and just placed some flat on the ground, then they started breeding, so that was the problem. So lucky I tested this in survival, because I wouldn't have known that before doing the tutorial. That's why you always test it. And these guys in here, I don't actually need them. So I've got guys like I got a Fletcher. I don't need a Fletcher, but I just thought, I've got my good trading hall with all the trades I want. Here I'll just get all the trades I don't want in case I ever want them, like fire aspect. Maybe I'll bank a cow farm and I want that on my sword to cook the meat as I'm killing the cows. I don't know. Things like stuff for tridents and bows. I've got that here. But when I left you last time, we were working on my proper trading hall over at the oil rig. You can see how close everything is. This is pretty cool. I tend not to use the portals when we're in this area. I just fly around. Oh no, I shouldn't have turned around. Can I make the... There we go. Didn't have to use another rocket. Ooh, can we get all the way in? Awesome. And now I've just got to go out because I've forgotten where my trading hall is. So last time I was working on converting zombie villagers into villagers and then getting them to talk to all the other guys. And I did that, and gosh, it was a waste of time. Look at this. So all I got was like a 1 emerald discount, and now it's actually disappeared. Maybe when I was building the... Actually, I did accidentally whack a villager when I was building the other trading hall, so maybe that's why I've lost my discount. Or maybe it just doesn't last very long. But yeah, it totally wasn't worth it. I don't know if you're supposed to cure the villagers and then trade with those guys to get the cheaper trades. I'm not quite sure, but yes, definitely getting a cured zombie guy to talk to these guys is a total waste of time. But anyway, guys, I have finally redone this room. We've gotten rid of all the dripping water. I got rid of all the stripped birchwood, because that's all I had when I built this originally. And yeah, it's looking nicer. I think it could still use a few tweaks, but you know, I don't really spend that much time here. I don't need to go to too much effort. And I've cleaned up this whole area, so we've got a nice enchanting table now. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the whole way this turned out. Seems a shame I put so much work into this oil rig, and I pretty much have no use for it anymore, and it doesn't match with the theme of everything else I'm building. But anyway, guys, that is enough of me just wandering around doing a show and tell, because I want to get to work on the next big building on my castle, because this castle is taking forever. So I spent last night getting ready for this build, because I'm going to record it in a bit of a time lapse, and for that I need to have all my goodies ready to go. I think I have everything, so we're not doing a whole big castle here. We're just doing the bottom floor, because that's all I've designed. and we will take a short break from our scheduled programming to bring you over to the Japanese area, because I wanted to explain to you one little thing that I do, one little trick to get my ideas for buildings. Like if you saw me build the pagoda over there in a previous episode, you'll know that I based that off a photo of a real building. But that's not all I do. I often get my inspiration for builds off other builds I've done. So we've got my large Japanese shrine over here, and that is based on my small Japanese shrine that I did a tutorial for a while back. So I just took the features from that one and threw it into this one. So that's how I got my inspiration for that. But that's not all. My Japanese shrine, I actually took inspiration from a barn that I built on my Elven Nation time-lapse series. So I just like to recycle my builds a little bit, just change a few things. That's what I've done with this building over here. Like you'll notice, have a good look at that top section of the building. Does that look similar? It is very, very similar to that section over there. Basically, I just took that one, changed a few materials around, changed the slant of the roof, and just a few things around, but it is basically that part of the building. And then if you look at that part of the building where my cursor is sitting, and we can't get a great look at it, but that is the bottom section of my building over here. So I just took 2 slices from my pagoda, and I can't fly to save myself. Maybe it's the shaders that's causing that. Yeah, I just took 2 sections from my pagoda, changed the materials, changed the design a little bit, and brought them together here. And I've made a pretty awesome Japanese house. I think I absolutely love this one. We will probably get a tutorial for this one too. So this is kind of over near the residential area. So I've got a little peasant's house over here. And this is another house, but slightly richer. And of course, all my buildings in the Japanese area need a theme, need a purpose. And this one does not have one as yet. But I'll figure something out for it. And here we are back at the castle, guys, and as promised, I've done the second floor, but you already know that because you watched the time-lapse. But check this out, it's a little idea I had. I've always known about people putting redstone ore behind vines just to make it look like little berries, but I thought the emerald ore would look super cool, and I've got all the string around there so it doesn't spread all over the place. But yeah, I don't know, I guess that's green berries maybe, but yeah, that looks good. That to me is the most valuable block in Minecraft. Well, it's not really valuable, but it's rare, the emerald ore. I never ever mine emerald ore with anything but silk touch. But let's head inside, and we've got the bottom floor, so basically I ended up having a bunch of rooms here that I needed to do something with. So I decided to make this the kitchen for the entire castle. And because it's for the whole castle, it can't just be one room. We need lots and lots of rooms for preparing food. And I've just realised I'm also going to need a lot of room for the storage of all the food. So we've got more to do in the kitchen. But this is the first room. I didn't make this sort of part of the kitchen. This is more dining area for a lot of the guards in the prison tower right here. And I love these little lights. I've just got the hoppers there in the floor. So they're showing on the top floor, but I can always just put a carpet over the top and you will never see the hoppers. So yeah, just a little dining area, a little bookcase up the back here. We're using the looms to look like shelves that don't have any books in them. And then just mixing up some stripped wood just to make it look a little bit more interesting. And then just a little study area in the alcove. But let's move on. Oh yeah, we've got some stuff in the walls. You know, making up medieval furniture to fill up all these areas is pretty difficult. I reckon by the time I finish this castle, I can do a tutorial on just all these little designs, just things to fill up your castle area. But anyway, here we go. We're in the kitchen, so we've got a big cauldron here cooking away. Bit of washing up area, food prep areas all through here, so you can have 1 or 2 master chefs in here cooking away, and a few other people preparing food over on this table. So we've got a lot of herbs in flower pots, lots and lots of storage for all the goodies. and barrels lying around. And the next room, I love this one, but check this out. This is cool. It could be something I get rid of, but I've put a bunch of lecterns up the top there because I thought it just kind of looked like little shelves right at the top with a whole bunch of little spices tucked away. So I don't really know if that works, and I'm going to have to cover them up on the next floor. But anyway, everything else here works really well, I think. So we've got another table for preparation. Love having these lights hanging down from the ceiling above our benches. And yes, just more storage in here. And I got this idea. Someone on Hermitcraft did that. I saw about 5 minutes of an episode and I thought, oh yeah, I'll steal that. Just the barrels with the scaffolding all around. I think it looks super cool. And that is about it. So we've got the 3 main prep areas here. The main kitchen, little food prep, and this area here. And so they can either take food out to the guard tower, or they can come up the stairs to an area that I haven't done yet. But I guess all of this area here is probably going to be more seating for all the soldiers of our castle. And then in future builds, I'm going to be joining more areas, probably to this room here. So I'm not sure what I'm going to put in here, because we're going to have more doorways that I haven't designed yet. But they can take the food off to all areas of the castle. You know, I think this castle is going to look super cool when I'm finally done, because I'm putting so much effort into every single little room. But that is probably what's... it's going to take me forever to build. That's why it's taking so long. But we are going to leave it here for today, guys. I'm losing my voice and I'm tired. So we're just going to get this episode out. So leave a like, guys, if you enjoyed that video. Cheers, I'm Cortezerino. I'll see you later.